So today we will be talking about how to master the markets as a day trader, and it will be presented by Alex Kozulin. But first, we'll go through some administrative matters for the webinar, and away we go. So a disclaimer ahead of time, what we speak of today and the views and opinions expressed today, it do not constitute a recommendation by Track Record Private Limited. The views are expressed for purely educational purposes only. So please seek investment advice from an investment advisor. We accept no responsibility for the use of our materials. And no part of this material may be reproduced or transmitted in any form. Also, I would like to welcome our media partners, wealthenjoy.com, yieldsavvy.com, and onlinetradersclub.org. So welcome to our presentation today. Thanks for taking the time. And by way of introduction, I am V. My name is Pan V Leong. Yes, I've been in trading for a very long time now. I started my career in 1998 in London. I've worked in various financial trading centers around the world. Started in London, worked in Seoul, Singapore, as well as New York and Hong Kong. And since I left finance in 2013, I have been doing various things, and I started Track Record in 2016 because there were a lot of requests for training programs for professional traders in financial institutions, banks, as well as hedge funds. And along the way, we adapted our programs for the retail sector to help retail traders as well. And so here we are. And how I met Alex was in 2016. He joined Track Record's trading bootcamp in Australia, and since then we've kept in touch through the years. We were also working together as partners when he was working in Australia as one of the trainers in our partners firms. And since then, he has developed his own training programs and trading systems. He has 25 years of global corporate experience in senior management and executive positions, and 14 years of trading experience. And that's it. I shall hand it to him to tell you more about himself and his trading programs.
V, thank you very much for the introduction, and welcome everybody to this particular webinar. That's all to do about the DayTrader Pro Plus program, for short, just to keep it simple, DTP Plus. So as we mentioned, I've spent 25 years in global corporate experience, and this is where I first got my exposure to the international financial markets. Now, back in 2010, I left the corporate world, moved back to Australia, wanting to spend more time with my young family. And so it was when I moved back to Australia that I started my, if you like, active learning of trying to trade the financial markets as a private retail trader. And as V mentioned, Track Record was an integral part of my learning and becoming a private retail trader. Now, as with most retail private traders, I became what they call a swing trader. So what that means is that I was trading various, or actually quite a lot of different asset classes. So I was trading different currency pairs. I was trading precious metals like gold and silver. I was trading stock indices. I was trading even cryptocurrencies more recently. And trading so many different asset classes also meant that I was trading multiple technical systems. So some technical systems I was working off 1 hour charts, others are 4 hour charts, other daily charts. And so I constantly had multiple trades in the market. And so what that meant for me is that I would have some trades that were in the market for a few hours, other trades that were there for days, and other trades that were there for 2 to 3 weeks potentially. And so what that also means is by having all these trades that are there for long periods of time, I would have trades in the market overnight. I would have trades in the market over the weekend. And of course, I'm based here in Australia. So when the US markets are open, as we know, financial markets are pretty much governed by what happens in the US and their financial markets. I'm asleep. And so on a regular basis, I would be getting up in the middle of the night, checking my trade positions, or knowing that there's certain economic data coming out of the US. I'd be getting up before that so I can manage my positions. Obviously, over weekends, fairly risk, fair amount of risk involved in that as well, because if something globally happens over the weekend, our trading platforms are closed. There's nothing we can do with our trades, and we hope and pray that when the markets and platforms open Monday morning, that the potential damage is not too bad. And so, in addition to that, what I was finding, as much as I enjoyed and still enjoy trading the financial markets, I was actually spending hours and hours in front of the screens, looking for trade setups, managing my trades, getting up all hours of the night, checking on things. And I realized that if I wanted to continue this on a long-term basis, I couldn't keep this up, and I needed to make some certain changes that I would be able to sustain going forward, trading the financial markets. And so what I wanted to become is what I would call a lifestyle trader as opposed to a swing trader. So what do I mean by a lifestyle trader? Well, first of all, my first priority is that I wanted to reduce the time that I spent in front of the screens. Okay, I didn't want to spend hours and hours every single day looking for setups or managing trades. So I wanted to identify trading time that actually suits my lifestyle, what my preferences are, but also most importantly, a time that will also align with a time in the markets that's going to provide me trading opportunities on a regular basis. That was important to find that balance. Secondly, I didn't want to trade multiple different trading instruments. And so I decided that I wanted to pick one or two, potentially even three trading instruments, focus on those, find a technical system and a market time that there is movements in the market, and master and specialize in those particular trading instruments. And so this transition process from the time I started to now, not to now, to complete the transition to a lifestyle trade took me about 18 months. And so part of that 18 months, as I mentioned, it was identifying specific trading instruments that I wanted to focus on, identifying the time of day I was going to trade these particular trading assets, and develop a technical system specifically designed for that particular trading instrument. And so now, I regard myself as a lifestyle trader. I trade twice per day. So I look for 2 trade opportunities every single day. So the first of those is I look to trade the DAX, this is a German stock index, at the start of the German market open. And so for me here in Australia, this is early evening at the moment. And this particular trade setup, we look for it once a day. We're only looking to take one trade on this particular asset. And generally I spend on average about 1 hour looking for that trade setup. Now, sometimes it can go a little bit longer. There are other days that I can actually place a trade within the hour. Now, in this particular system, it's quite simple. Once we're in, there is no further trade management, so we can walk away and get on with the rest of our evening, if you like. The second instrument that I trade is the Dow Jones Index. So this is a US stock index. And for this particular strategy, I look to trade and start looking for opportunities 2 hours before the US market closes. And so for me here in Melbourne, this is early morning. And this particular strategy has its own technical system, different to the way I trade the DAX. On average, I spend about 30 minutes on this particular trade setup. Again, sometimes it's a little bit longer, other times it's a little bit shorter. This is a slightly more advanced trade where it does require some trade management throughout the course of its trade. So for me, what that means as a lifestyle trader now, I trade early morning and I trade early evening. And so that gives me my entire day to do whatever I wish to do. So I'm not looking for any other trades. I'm not looking for managing trades. It's all done and dusted. And once I finish in the evening, I still got my evenings free if I wanted to do something else. So it's a big difference from from being a swing trader or spending hours and hours in front of the screens. Now, the next step, I've taken what I've learned and the systems that I've developed specifically on the DAX and the Dow Jones, and I've created the DayTrader Pro program. And there's two components to this. To be short, there's the DDP, the original program, which focuses on the DAX, and it's really geared up for, I would say, novice traders who've had little or no experience in the financial markets. So we spend a lot more time building that foundation. And then we have the DTP Plus, which is the focus of tonight's presentation, which specializes on the Dow Jones index trade, and it's a little bit more advanced. However, in saying that, both of the programs are standalone programs. However, we do recommend that if you've had no experience or very little experience in day trading, that the preferred or the better option would be to start with the DTP and then progress to the DTP Plus. However, just to repeat myself, they are both standalone programs, so you can launch straight into the DTP Plus if you like. All right, so let's get on with the actual presentation and talk about the DTP Plus program. So the content today, give you a brief highlights of the actual DTP Plus program. We'll talk about the objectives of what this program is supposed to deliver. We'll give you an overview of the program. We'll talk about the DTP actual system, its core principles. Obviously, we'll have a look at the results for 2024 of DTP Plus. We'll go through trade examples. So I'll show you exactly what I'm looking for the trade setup and how quickly these trades can actually set up and be completed. We'll cover why the DTP Plus, in other words, what advantages or benefits are there. I'll give you the program outline, what the course involves. We'll talk about who this program is suitable for. I also want to spend just a couple of minutes for those who are not familiar with the DTP, which covers the DAX trading system. We'll give you a quick overview of that as well. All right, so let's talk about the DTP Plus highlights. First of all, as I mentioned, there is a daily trade opportunity. So we're looking at the US market, the last 2 hours of the US closing session where we trade the Dow Jones index. And it's very rare not to actually place a trade. So pretty much, I'm going to say 95% of the time, there is a trade actually placed every single day. In fact, off memory, I think as far as 2024 is concerned, on the days that we have traded, there's only been 2 days where we haven't traded or placed a trade. Now, it's a very quick setup, generally 15 to 45 minutes in most days for a trade setup and completion. Okay, so once we're in, the trade moves very quickly. Sometimes we're actually finished the trade within 4 or 5 minutes. So it is a very fast moving trade. One of the highlights of this is its risk to reward ratio of 1 to 4. So what that means is that if we're risking 1%, which is what we'll be doing, risking 1% per trade, we're looking to make a 4% return on our winning trades. And so we don't need a very high win-loss ratio to be profitable in this particular strategy. As you can see, the next point, we only need a 21% winning percentage for a positive result. So a 1 to 4 risk to reward means we have a 20% win-loss ratio for a break-even. So anything above 20%, so a 21% winning percentage is going to give us a positive result on this particular trading system. It's a very simple system using only one indicator. In fact, both in the DTP and the DT Plus, although they are different technical systems, they are both very simple. So I don't believe in complicating and having a complicated technical system with many indicators. We'll keep it simple. And so this one in particular, we only actually use the one indicator. And the key to any program, I believe, is holding live trading sessions. So twice a week, once the course is started, and this is the same with the DTP, you join a session live with me and you follow me with how I trade live in the market, so you can copy exactly what I do when I do it. It's a great, great learning tool. All right, so let's talk about the objectives of the DTP Plus program. So first of all, it's about building on the learnings and skills of the DTP program. So the DTP program, as I mentioned earlier, is really designed and spends a lot more time providing and building a trading foundation. So it provides a framework and a structure for day trading. It helps create good trading habits and trading discipline. And so the DTP Plus continues to build on the learnings of the DTP program. Obviously, it adds a trading strategy to your portfolio, because we are now learning to trade another technical system on another trading instrument, being the Dow Jones Index. And so a new technical strategy and a new instrument to trade to add to your portfolio. And if you've done the DTP course, in addition to that. So what is important is that now it provides a diversification of markets. So the DTP with the DAX focuses on the European market at the beginning of the European market, and the DTP Plus focus on the US market towards the end of the US market. So very different market conditions. So we're not putting all our eggs into one basket and trading perhaps multiple trading instruments in one environment, like the European market only, or everything in the US market. So it provides a nice diversification in different trading conditions. So very, very important diversification. And of course, by combining the two, it does complete a balanced trading strategy and portfolio, because they are two different trading technical systems, two different trading instruments, two different markets, if you like, Europe and the US. So a nice balanced strategy and portfolio. And the other thing that we will cover in the DTP Plus program is how to qualify from a prop trading account. So a prop trading account, for those who are not familiar, it's something that's developed in the financial markets over the last, really gained popularity in the last 4 or 5 years, is where you can go through a process and obtain a funded trading account of up to 200,000 US dollars. And so one of the objectives of the DTP Plus program is to slightly modify our normal system of how we trade the Dow on a day-to-day basis, specifically to improve and speed up the process of trying to qualify and obtaining a funded account through a prop trading firm of up to $200,000. So just quickly, just to give you an overview how the two strategies and the two trading systems and the two assets or trading instruments that we trade between a DTP and a DTP Plus combined together do deliver a quite nice result overall. And so the advantage of having both strategies is that if one is perhaps underperforming, then you're not tempted to overtrade that particular system. You know that later in the day or the following morning, there is another system, another market where you can trade and try and balance that portfolio. So as you can see, working together, the results can be quite impressive. And so you can see the results for yourself as far as 2024 is concerned so far. All right, let's have an overview of the actual DTP Plus program. So as I mentioned earlier, the whole strategy is that we are trading the end of day move on the Dow Jones Index. So at the end of the market, there is generally a move, whether it's positions closing is generally what happens. And we start looking for a setup at 2 p.m. US Eastern time. So depending on what time zone you'll need to adjust that accordingly, but it's at 2 p.m. US Eastern time, we start looking for a trade setup on the Dow Jones Index. Now we use the 5-minute chart as our primary chart, so it's a very small time frame, and therefore it moves in the markets very, very quickly. So you do need to be familiar how to use the trading platform on this, because it is a fast-moving setup and completion of a trade. Now, this is important. We're only strictly placing one trade per day. That is, it is the same with the DTP on the DAX. We only place one trade per day. So irrespective whether it's a winning trade on the Dow, a break-even trade or a losing trade, that is it. So we're not tempted with revenge trading or emotional trading if we have a losing trade. The rules are very specific, one trade per day. We also only risk 1% per trade, okay? So we are very conservative in our approach with one trade per day, 1% risk per trade. So we know on a worst case scenario on any given day, our maximum downside is going to be 1% for a 4% return. And this particular system on the Dow does require active trade management. Unlike the DAX with the DTP, once the trade is placed, there's nothing more to do. We leave it alone. With the DTP Plus and the Dow Jones Index, we do manage the trade, in fact, a couple of times throughout its process if it hits the profit target. So there is trade management required, but it all happens, as I mentioned earlier, within that sort of 30 to 45-minute process. It's a very, very quick trade, even with the trade management. So as far as the system is concerned overall, it has very clear, concise, and easy to follow rules. As I mentioned before, we don't want to have complicated systems. Complicated just makes things worse. The simpler, the better. So you are given very clear, concise rules to follow of what to look for, how to place the trade, where to set your stop losses, where to set your profit targets, and how to manage the particular trade. Provides asymmetric opportunities. So with a risk to reward of 1 to 4, risking 1% to make 4%, that's on every single trade. Okay, so it is very, very important to be aware of that. And it uses a minimal and fixed amount of time. So between 15 to 45 minutes generally. Now, I'm going to show you some trade examples today that actually we got a trade set up within the first 5 minutes, and it was done within 15 minutes completed. So it can happen very quick, and so you can allocate your time if you've got a very busy schedule. And of course, as with any investment or trading in the financial markets, the system also adheres to the principles of successful trading. So if you're not familiar with what they are, and this is certainly the same core principles that I learned from Track Record and its courses, it is all about, first and foremost, capital preservation. We don't want to eat into our capital too quickly. And so this is why we only place the one trade per day. So we're not over trading. We're not risking our capital, initial capital. We take a very conservative approach. As I said, one trade per day in order to help preserve our capital and have enough capital to trade the next day and the day after. Risk management, absolutely core principle, applies here, and this is why we also only risk 1% per trade. That is it. Asymmetry, this is to do with that risk to reward. Now, unfortunately, a lot of day traders, when they start off in the retail sector, their focus is all about how many winning trades, what is their win-loss percentage. And this is not what is important. What is important is that how big are your winning trades and how small are your losing trades. And so the focus and the principle behind a DTP also, it's not about your win-loss ratio. I showed you earlier, we only need a 21% win-loss ratio to be profitable. Why? Because its focus is all about asymmetry, about making sure that our winning trades deliver significant profits. And it takes the pressure off in having to have successive and a high percentage of winning trades. And of course, trading discipline, absolutely important. Keep your emotions in control, sticking to your trading plan. All of this is given in the DTP Plus for you to follow. So there are very specific guidelines provided to ensure that you do develop trading discipline. All right, so let's look at the DTP Plus results on its own and in a lot more detail. So you know what to expect. You'll notice straight away from the left-hand side, we have three columns, obviously wins, break even, and losses. So you'll notice that a lot of our trades in proportion are break-even trades. Why? So we take a very conservative approach. We have very tight stops in this particular trading strategy, and the market moves very, very fast. And so by taking a conservative approach, as soon as our trades go into profit a certain amount, we bring our stops to break even to ensure that we don't encounter a loss. And because we have that high risk to reward of 4-to-1 now, we don't need many winning trades in order to make a decent return. And so you need to understand you are going to have winning trades, absolutely. You're going to have a hell of a lot more break-even trades, and you are going to have losing trades. And so losing trades can be in a row, just like winning trades. Now, you also notice that in the first 4 months of 2024, you'll notice that our actual risk to reward was structured at 2.5-to-1. So in other words, for every 1% that we were risking, or I was risking, I was looking for a return of 2.5%. And I did this for the first 4 months. Now, an important component of both the DTP and DTP Plus is about recording your trades and specific details of your trades, and you are provided with a template and shown what and how to record. And the purpose of the trading journals is that over a course of time, you need to analyze it and review to see whether your specific strategy needs some modifications to either to improve it or to enhance it or slightly change it. And so what I realized going through my trading journal and analyzing the results and specific data that I had in place, that in fact, if I made some adjustments to my strategy, I could actually increase my risk to reward from a 2.5% reward to a 4% reward. And this is what I've done. And so from May onwards, the strategy now entails a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. All right, so let's look at specific examples. So we are going to go through 2 long setups and 2 short setups. Now, these are obviously very clean cut, and I have chosen them specifically to make it easy to explain what does and can happen. Obviously, not all of them are as quick as what I'm going to show you and go through here. So first of all, you'll notice here we have 2 vertical lines. So this is the start of the US session. So we're not interested in the start of the session. What we're looking for is the last 2 hours of the US session. So this vertical line here represents 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. This is where we start to look for a trade opportunity. Now, the other thing to take note of is this white line. So this is the indicator that we use, okay, to determine whether we are going to look for a short trade or a long trade. And it's very, very simple. If price is below this indicator, we are looking for short trades. If price is above this indicator, we are looking for long opportunities. All right. And so let me just guide you through the process. So at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and generally I'll log in 5 or 10 minutes before that, okay, just to see what's happening. And if we look what's happening before our start time, price was clearly under our indicator, and therefore we can see it was trending short. Now this is a 5-minute chart. So in the first 5 minutes of when we start to look, we actually get a bullish 5-minute candle that closes above our indicator. So that's the first stage of our confirmation that we are now looking for a long position, and it's given that to us within the first 5 minutes of us looking. From there, we actually go to a 1-minute chart and we look for a specific entry with a 1-minute bullish candle, and we look to enter and we look to trade this move up here. Now, we don't actually need the whole move, it's only a partial move. So in this particular situation, well, markets, our time is open, first 5 minutes, we get a confirmation we are looking for long. We're down to the 1-minute chart, we get confirmation there, and we ride this up. and basically within 20 minutes or 15 minutes, we've collected a 4% return on our investment. Now, the other situation is when we start looking, this is the second example of a long trade. You'll notice here, before we start looking, that price is actually already broken above our indicator. So already before our start time, it's already telling us we should be looking for long. So what we need to do then is still wait for our start time, wait for the first 5 minutes to close. It has confirmed with a bullish 5-minute candle. We also then move down to the 1-minute candle, look for an entry, and we take care, enter the trade and take some of this move here. And once more, in this particular setup also, within 10 or 15 minutes, we are done, trade over, and we get on with the rest of our day. Short trades are exactly the same, but obviously in the opposite direction. Once more, first vertical line indicates the start of the US session. We're not interested in that. This is our start time for our DTP Plus, 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. In this case, first 5 minutes, we get a candle close now below our indicator, confirming it's a bearish candle. This is our trade opportunity. We go down to the 1 minute chart, and literally in this 5 minutes, we've scored our 4-to-1 risk to reward. And in this particular case, we're literally done within 10 minutes and we're over. So we don't look for second and third trades. You are going to be tempted because it does move very fast, but this is not the way the strategy and the core structure is designed. One trade only. And this is why trade discipline is absolutely important. We need to stick to the rules. So our second example of a short setup, once more, before our start time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, price has already broken back below our indicator. It's been moving heavily lower for quite some time. Our first 5 minutes, we get a very large bearish candle. So that confirms the continuation. It's below our indicator. That trend is going to continue lower. We're down to the 1 minute chart, and we would have entered somewhere around here and caught the rest of this move back lower. So a very, very simple system using one indicator. And as you can see in this example, it happens very, very quickly most of the time. And but it does move quickly. It does require trade management. So you do need to be comfortable with using the trading platforms. All right, so why the DTP Plus program? Well, let me summarize it for you. It's a very simple strategy. You don't need any real prior trading experience to understand the strategy. It is that simple. One indicator, you saw it. There is daily setup opportunities. So if you're like me, I like to be involved in the markets every single day. But that doesn't mean that I have to be spending hours and hours looking for trade opportunities. As I've explained, I trade twice per day, less than most times combined, less than 2 hours every single day. So there are daily setup opportunities with this. So we trade the US market. So this complements DTP, as I mentioned earlier, which focuses on the European market. So it gives us something different to trade. And it's the same time every day, 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. So you can plan your day accordingly. Just like with the DTP on the DAX, it is at a specific time every single day. And so you can plan and manage the rest of your days according to that. So very, very important that. And minimum daily time requirement, we spoke about it before, generally 15 to 45 minutes. And we only need a 20% win-loss ratio to break even with a risk to reward of 1 to 4. So a 21% win ratio, we're in profit. So it just takes the emotional stress and pressure that when you have a losing trade, it's not such a big deal because all it takes is one good trade and we back significantly in profit overall. And together with the DTP Plus provides a balanced trading strategy and portfolio. So what will you be learning in the DTP Plus? Well, first of all, obviously, we'll let you know what our key indicator is, how to set it up, and explain exactly what it is. I'm obviously not going to share that in this webinar. We'll provide you the exact rules, how to enter the trade, in other words, what we need to fulfill on the 5-minute chart in order to enter, and when we move to the 1-minute chart, what exactly needs to happen in order for us to trigger that entry of that 1-minute chart. We'll give you the rules for active trade management. In other words, when do we bring our stops to break even? When do we bank some profit before our overall profit target is hit? We'll give you specific rules on when and how to do that. And obviously together with the live trading, you'll see me do that live as well. The other thing that you'll be learning is how we adapt the standard Dow Jones trade, how we adapt that strategy in order to help qualify for a prop trading account, which is that funding account that I mentioned earlier of up to $200,000. There's obviously a process. Nobody's going to give you a funded account out of the goodness of their heart. You need to go through a qualification process to prove that you actually understand and have a specific trading strategy. So the course outline is as follows. Week 1, we provide you with the indicator, we provide you with the templates for the charts, the other indicators that we use. We provide you with a risk calculator to make sure that you calculate the correct volume on your trades to represent 1% of your trading account. So we give you all those indicators. We give you a template for the chart setup. We give you the rules of the trade, and obviously we provide you some examples, further examples on what we do, not just on a 5-minute chart, but obviously on a 1-minute chart. So in the first week, it's all about getting setting up your charts, getting indicators, getting comfortable with how to use the charts, understanding the rules, and going through specific in detail trade examples. So in week 2, you are ready to actually get into the live trading session. So week 2, we'll have 2 live trading sessions. During those sessions, actually not during, at the end of, once we place a trade and finish the trade, we'll have a Q&A session. If people have questions, we'll answer those live during those 2 sessions. And also what you'll get at the start of each week is a weekly trade review video. So all the trade setups of the previous week, there'll be a detailed video because we're only trading together twice per week. So you'll get a video that highlights exactly what happened during the other trading days and how I entered those and what that would be. So week 3 is exactly the same. It's all about live trading because it is a simple system. The only way you're going to get better at it is get involved in those live trading sessions. Whether it's a real account or a demo account, doesn't really matter. Q&A section, weekly trade review, that continues. Now week 4, this is where we talk about in more detail about prop trading as an option. What are the options in terms of applying for a prop trading account? What size accounts? As I said, you can go up to $200,000, but there are smaller accounts you can apply for, and we'll cover how to adapt the standard Dow trade in order to help qualify for a prop trading funded account. 2 live trading sessions and Q&A and weekly trade review. And we finish off week 5 with 2 live trading sessions, the Q&A and the weekly trade review. Now, a couple of things. So the webinars, if you like, in week 1 and week 4, they have already been pre-recorded. They are modularized. So you don't have to wait for week 4 to go through the webinars of prop trading and the adaptation of Dow trade. You can do those in week 1 if you like. So they are there available for you to review and watch whenever you want, as many times as you like as well. Now, as far as the live trading sessions, we are going to be doing those on Wednesdays and Thursdays, US Eastern time. So we start looking for a trade setup from 2 p.m. US Eastern time, but we'll log in 10 minutes before just to get ourselves ready. So when 2 p.m. US Eastern time starts, we are good and ready to go. Now, just on this particular thing, I actually do not trade Friday evenings or Friday US Eastern time, 2 p.m. purely from a lifestyle perspective, because for me, that's a Saturday morning and that's already part of my weekend. So when I finish with a DAX trade on a Friday early evening, that is it. I don't trade again until Monday. So there's no, I was going to say, there's no technical reason for not trading on a Friday US time if you want to. Purely for me, it's my choice. I just decided I want to start my weekend and not eat into my weekend by trading that Saturday morning. So you don't have to trade every single day. You can also choose the days that you want to specifically trade in order to suit your own lifestyle requirements. All right, so who is it suitable for? Well, first of all, I believe it's traders who have completed the DTP program. Okay, so it builds on it. Now, in saying that, it doesn't mean if you haven't done the DTP program, it doesn't mean you can't do the DTP Plus. They're both standalone programs, but our recommendation is, particularly if you are new to day trading, is you're better off starting with this because it just spends a lot more time building that trading foundation and incorporating those trading habits and trading disciplines. Obviously, experienced traders who perhaps have difficulty in becoming profitable on a constant basis, but also traders who want to enhance their trading process. And certainly, you've seen how little time it actually does require. So traders who do have an issue with time availability, it's certainly suitable for them. Very quickly, I just want to go over the DTP program, which focuses on the DAX and the European markets. So just bear with me for a few more minutes. So how will the DayTrader Pro help you? Well, in addition to a trading structure and another trading strategy compared to the DTP Plus, the DayTrader Pro will also help you develop the following qualities: discipline, patience, commitment, consistency, confidence. We spend quite a bit of time in it because you may not know this, but over 90% of day traders lose money. And there's a number of reasons why, but typically they're over trading. So they're trading far too much. They're trading the wrong volume size. So they're eating into the capital. They're trading without any stops. They let their emotions take over. And so they do revenge trading if they have a losing trade, or if they see markets moving, there's the fear of missing out. And so they jump in the markets, or they let their losses, losing trades, they don't want to take their losses and they'll let their losing trades get bigger. And as soon as one of their trades go into profit, they exit early. So there's a lot of reasons why day traders lose money. And so the DayTrader Pro, particularly if you haven't traded a lot before, just helps develop, provides that trading structure and provides and teaches you that discipline, patience, and consistency, commitment you need to actually be successful in day trading. So the course is also a 5-week course. Week 1, I go through indicators. There are a different set of indicators. It's a different technical system. We go through a chart setup. We go through and provide it with specific DTP rules. Week 2, we talk about candlesticks, what we classify and determine are bullish and bearish. We talk about the importance of recording trades, and I mentioned that earlier, having a trading journal. We give you a template for the trading journal and explain what needs to be put in there. We talk about some exceptions to the rules, and of course, we do live trading also. I just strongly believe live trading is a very important component to any trading course. Week 3, we cover risk management in detail, profit asymmetry, how to potentially increase profits without trading more, and obviously live trading again. So 2 live trading sessions per week. Week 4, we cover trading psychology, live trading. And in week 5, we talk about how to take the strategy on the DTP on the DAX and how you can potentially adapt that to a different trading instrument and also a different time frame. We also do introduce prop trading. This is the funded account. We talk about that if that's an option you'd like to take. And obviously, we finish off with the live trading. Now, although it's a 5-week course, these are also pre-recorded and you can watch them all within a week or 2 weeks if you like. Okay. All right, at this point, I might just hand you over to V.
Hi, okay, I'm back. Well, so don't just take it from us. I think it's a great program. That's why I'm collaborating with Alex on this. But we have various participants from all walks of life who have taken the DTP program and they have come back with raving reviews. Some of these people you may know, for example, Emil Heskey, former England and Liverpool football player. And also Richard, who is the vice president of the Online Traders Club in Singapore. But do not let your background restrict you from taking this program because we have students from various backgrounds, such as we have Esther, who is a music teacher, a high school student, Reid, and also financial consultants. But generally, if you look through their comments, they come back with very consistent message that it's a very simple program to follow. Of course, simple doesn't mean that it's easy to master. And that is why our recommended duration is a 5-week course where there's pre-recorded videos which you can watch repeatedly in your own time, but also that you go through the live sessions on a weekly basis with Alex and go through the weekly trading review videos, right? So that's the reason why we recommend a 5-week duration. The moment you sign up, you can immediately get started and just watch the live trading sessions as it happens. Of course, we cannot compress all the live trading sessions into a few days because by definition, it's live. It takes time to go through live examples. That's why it takes five weeks. But have a look through the testimonials in your own time on our landing pages. It's pretty much will address many of the questions or any doubts that you have. And that's it. And Alex will go through more of this in the next slide, right, Alex?
I certainly will. Thank you, V. All right, so just once more, just to summarize how the DTP and the DTP Plus can work very well together as a um, complementary portfolio, both same principles, one trade per day, one percentage risk per trade. So a very, very conservative approach. But when you look at the results and certainly combine them together, you can certainly see 2024 has been a fairly good start to the year thus far. All right, so let's just quickly do some comparisons between the two. So both is a 5-week course that's recommended. Obviously, in terms of the content material, apart from live trading, you can do that a lot quicker if you wish. Both have 2 live trading sessions a week, which is, can't stress enough how important that is, because until you actually start trading live, and it could be on a demo account, you don't experience the real emotional, I don't use the word stress, because it's not stressful. If you go through the program, it takes the stress component away because it takes a lot of the decision-making process away. Both have 1 trade per day, and both are only risking 1% trade per day. But there are obviously differences between the two. The DTP is suitable for all types of traders. So whether you're a novice, intermediate, advanced, doesn't matter. It's beneficial for all. The DTP Plus, our recommendation is that it's better off for those, and it assumes that you've had some trading experience, because it's a much faster moving trade and you need to react very, very quickly. Even though you're given specific instructions, you do need to react very quickly. So the content material is different. On DTP, there are 35 on-demand videos because we spend a lot more time, as I went through the course outline, in terms of talking not just the rules to the trade, but things like bullish, bearish candles, candle patterns, trading psychology, prop trading. So there's a lot more content to try and establish a sound trading foundation for those who actually never traded before. On the DTP Plus, there are only 5 on-demand videos. As we spoke about before, on the DTP, we trade the DAX, which is the top German stock index, German 40. On the DTP Plus, we trade the Dow Jones Index. Market times are also different. Obviously, with the German DAX, we're looking to trade the opening of the German markets. And on the DTP Plus, we're looking at trading during the closing last 2 hours of closing of the US markets. We do have a cutoff time. So with the DTP, there are going to be situations where we don't get a trade setup. So within 90 minutes of us starting to look for a trade setup on the DTP, if it doesn't look like we're getting close to a setup on a DAX, we'll just basically shut up shop and move on to the next day for our DAX trade. On the DTP Plus, we do have a cutoff time of 60 minutes, but it's very, very rare that we actually do not place a trade within that. As I just mentioned, on the DTP with the DAX, we will have days where there's no trade setups, but with the Dow, very rare where we actually have no trade setup. And I think off memory, I mean, obviously, apart from public holidays in the US where we don't trade, I think there's only been 2, maybe 3 days where we actually haven't had a trade setup within that first 60 minutes. DTP also wide suited to novices or beginners is that once we place a trade, obviously we have our stop loss in place and we have our profit target in place with the DAX. There's no further trade management required. You're done and dusted. You can get on with the rest of your day, because those trades generally might take an hour or 2 hours to complete. Whereas with the Dow, it is active trade management, and there are 2 stages where we have to adjust our trade because it is a much faster moving trade. But in saying that, we're generally done either way within 45 minutes. The risk to reward is different, 1 to 2 on a DDP and 1 to 4 on the DTP Plus. Now, obviously a big difference. However, still a 2 to 1 or a 1 to 2 risk to reward is a fairly nice reward, where we only need our break even there is a 33% win-loss ratio. So still a very low win-loss ratio required for a break even. So anything above a 33% on DTP is going to provide a winning setup. So with that, on the DAX, you're either going to have your trades are either going to be a winning or a losing trade, because we don't adjust anything. But as I've shown on the detail of the results on the Dow, the DTP Plus, there will be break-even trades, and it'll be quite a few break-even trades. So not to get discouraged, because we do take a very conservative approach with that particular trade setup. All right, here I might pass you off to V once more.
So first off, it's we have a few offers, and one is for those who have participated in the DTP program. So if you have participated and attended the DTP program, you will find that the DTP Plus is structured pretty similarly. It's a 5-week program, but there's a lot less training videos. There's only 3 in the DTP Plus, and 2 weekly sessions. So 8 live trading sessions over the course of 4 weeks. And it will cost you, the regular price is 999 Singapore dollars, but for those who have attended the DTP, you can get the DTP Plus for $299, and that's a savings of $700. That's a great deal, I think. And for those who are new to us, and there's quite a number today that's not attended the DTP, you also have an offer that I believe you cannot refuse. It's again the same things that you'll be getting: 8 live trading sessions, 3 training videos, 5-week program. Regular price, as stated, is $999, but with this offer, you get 6 months access to our track record premium membership, which is valued at more than $500, and that's a total value of 1,533 Singapore dollars. But if you sign up today, you will get it for 799 Singapore dollars. But if you do intend to, of course, the savings is $734, but if you do intend to sign up for both, you can get the DTP package, which has both the DTP Pro and DTP Pro Plus. You get everything in both programs, 10 weeks of live sessions. You can start the DTP Plus within 3 months after you complete your DTP program. 38 training videos, 16 live trading sessions, and this also comes with a 6 months track record premium membership access. And you will also get access to previous live trading sessions recordings for the DTP. So if you are very curious as to how the previous results were achieved, you want to look through more live examples so you can fast track your learning. Also, just go through the live examples to see how Alex went through the months and months of trading and how he achieved those results. Regular price for this would be almost 2,200 Singapore dollars, but and plus all the bonuses is additional value of 1,300 Singapore dollars. So the total value of this whole package is in excess of 3,000 Singapore dollars. But for today, you can get all this and for a price of just 1,098 Singapore dollars. And so it comes out to be the same as if you have participated in the DTP program originally, and you're now getting the special offer that we are offering to our loyal students, loyal supporters. So we don't hold it against you for not knowing about us in earlier before. So here's your chance to get involved now. And it's important to know that this program, as we've mentioned several times, you can do at your own pace, but the recommended duration is 5 weeks for each program so that you acquire the trading experience as well as the muscle memory required to execute the trades and adhere to the stop losses and build the discipline that is required for you to achieve success. That's our recommendation. Of course, you can do it at a faster pace if you are very experienced in trading. And so that's the offers that we have for you today. And this is a summary page. There's 3 different columns here, and you can just sign up. And before I also need to mention that for some people who are in the correct jurisdictions, because we have a global audience today, you can qualify for up to 50% off the course fees if you set up an account with our preferred broker. So details will be provided by track record staff if you ask them about this. But this is the summary page here. You can scan and you go to the landing page and sign up. Here, that's it for now. So we are going to move on to the Q&A session. So Alex, we have quite a number of questions. So I hope you're ready to answer some questions.
Okay, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. So I think a very simple one to start with is since you're based in Australia, a question is, why do you not trade the Australian stock index?
Good question. And to be honest, that's exactly where I started initially, trading the ASX 200 in the mornings. And I moved away from there for 2 reasons. One is that I started to look for trade setups where the markets open at 10 a.m. Australian time, allowing myself 90 minutes. So typically till about 11:30. And what I found was I'm a morning person. So I'm twiddling my thumbs, waiting until 10 o'clock in the morning. And then by the time I finish, it's almost lunchtime. So I felt like I was losing half a day being unproductive or not productive enough. But also what I found with the ASX, my risk to reward was only 1.5. So it created just a lot more pressure on having to have a lot more winning trades. And so I did start off with that, and then I moved away from that to look for better alternatives that provided me a much better risk to reward, therefore taking the pressure off to have more winning trades, but also something that suited me more in terms of the time of day when I was trading.
Okay. Another question is for the DTP Plus course, will you be sharing your DTP rules, the one for the DAX trading?
No, good attempt, whoever that was, but no. So the DTB Plus, we're only talking about the Dow Jones Index and how we specifically trade that. So if you want to know more about the DAX and the system and the indicators that we use there, then unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say fortunately, because I think it's a great system, you need to do the DTP course.
Okay, and also for the DTP Plus, are we able to use the same rules to trade the US opening as well as the closing?
The short answer is yes. It will require different levels of stop losses and profit targets. Simply, if you look at the opening versus the closing, the moves are much bigger and happen much faster. So you need to adjust, as I said, the stop losses and your risk to reward. So you can use the same indicator. And in fact, I did start also looking at that, but it's the middle of the night for me and I need to sleep sometimes. So from a timing perspective, for me, it did not work. And I much prefer the closing, and the moves are a little bit tighter. So I find I can get a slightly bigger risk to reward return on that. But yes, short answer is yes, you can use it at the start of the US market. And if you do the DTP Plus course, I will advise you what sort of how to go through those to adapt it to the start of the US market.
Yes, so I would like to add to that as well. I think the key points here is that on the markets as well as the timing, I think it's quite clear that Alex optimizes it to his so-called lifestyle trader lifestyle, right? So taking this course will allow you to, over the course of the program, you will understand how he adapts it as well. And a question that we get quite frequently as well is that how is it possible to achieve such results consistently? But it is, again, it is not a true guarantee of future performance. It's just that when you attend this course, you'll learn the rules of how to curate and optimize a trading system. So if you think back upon the whole presentation, along the way when Alex was showing the track record, he changed his risk-reward ratio along the way. So this is part of the trading process, right? You tweak it to become better. So he started, Alex, you started with 1 to 2, and then as you analyze the trade results that you have, you found that you would have been about the same losses if you did 1 to 4, but the
Correct.
profits would be a lot more, right?
Correct. So,
And
what's important also, it's what works. I shouldn't say this. Market conditions change, and so this is why an important component of both programs is about recording your trades. And as I said, the template is there. You tell us specifically what to record, and the analysis process is very, very important because market conditions may change slightly, and so therefore you may need to tweak the conditions around a specific trading strategy. That doesn't mean you change it from month to month. I look at it perhaps every 4 to 5 months and look at a big picture, and then see whether if we make certain adjustments, whether it's going to give me a better result. So that's a constant thing that you need to keep reviewing and analyzing your performance, just like with any business.
yes, that's right. We've got to adapt to changing circumstances. Also, I think along the same lines as why don't you trade ASX and all, can we apply this trading process to other US indices, S&P, NASDAQ? I guess
Yes. So
yes, yeah.
yes. So the DW Plus strategy can be applied to NASDAQ and the S&P. Why I've chosen the Dow, because I get this question a lot. For me, if you look at in terms of pips, the average daily range on the Dow, it's about 350 pips. And so proportionally, I'm looking for a small move in pips, and that's what allows me to get that 4-to-1 risk to reward. So the Nasdaq has a much lower daily range, and so does the S&P. So, but yes, you can trade either. What I would say, you can move away from the Dow, but be consistent. Don't trade a Dow one day and then move on to the Nasdaq and then the S&P. So be consistent, because each of them has their own specifics, and the whole point of both programs, by focusing on one trading instrument at a certain a specific time every single day, you start to notice that certain things will happen on a regular basis, and that's what's important. If you keep changing from one trading instrument to another, you're going to miss those key moments and understanding, the specifics to that particular trading instrument.
Also, can I just, one participant asked, can I just join the DTP Plus directly?
Of course,
DTP?
absolutely.
Yeah, I guess the presumption is you will have to have some trading knowledge so that you do not have to go through the basics of knowing what stop losses are and the
Correct. And part of that assumption is going to be that, we use an MT5 platform. We have a preferred broker, but you can certainly use whatever broker you wish. So you need to be comfortable how to operate the MT5 platform, because, as I mentioned, the trade moves very, very quickly, and we need to be adjusting things very, very quick. So it assumes you understand that you do have trading discipline, you can control your emotions, that you don't start to place more trades in a market. Because I'll tell you one thing with the DTP Plus, particularly if you have a losing trade or a break-even trade, and then all of a sudden it goes in your favor, there is a big, big temptation to re-enter the market over and over and over again. And this is how we destroy our capital.
Yeah. Yeah, they're talking about the nightmare of day trading. And also from another participant, when can we start the course?
You sign up today, you can get access to it tomorrow, and we start live trading next week.
Yep, that's right. So whenever you sign up, you can access the pre-recorded trading videos at your own pace, and then just sign up, log into the live trading sessions and learn in using live trading environments as well. Okay, there's a question here. How will the program help me become a prop trader?
Okay, so prop trading, just to clarify again, is a way of having a funded account without using your own capital. Okay, so that's the advantage of prop trading. But obviously, part of the prop trading process is that there is a qualification and evaluation process where they have very specific guidelines in terms of what profit targets that have to be met, restrictions on daily loss limits, so there's a lot of criteria. And so what the DTP Plus does is, with the modified approach, is to how you can get and qualify for the prop trading account by minimizing your risk, but also getting there as quickly as possible. So we balance that approach. So that's the only advantage.
Okay, so
about not using your own capital.
Right. Yeah, I think there's a big advantage, right? Using some other people's money to trade and then getting a cut of profits. That's great. That's what traders.
But just to clarify, sorry to interrupt. So with the prop trading, for those who are not familiar, basically you get 80% of the profits that you make. So they keep 20%. There is a fee involved in the applying for the process, and that fee depends on the size of account you apply for. But bottom line is you get 80% of whatever you make. So if you get a $200,000 account, you make, let's say, 10%, then 80% of that is fairly significant.
Yes, and a question here with regards to if I sign up to both of the programs, if I sign up for the package, the one with the most cost savings, then must I do both courses simultaneously?
No. So you would start off with the DTP, and as long as you start the DTP Plus within 3 months, so you can basically trade the DTP on its own for 3 months and then start the DTP Plus. So it's up to you as to when you want to start the second one, the DTP Plus. But ultimately you've got to start it within 3 months.
Okay, cool. I think most of the questions have been answered. They're all along the same lines, but let me just summarize one last time before we called it a day. You can sign up for DTP Plus independent of DTP, but the DPP will provide you with a strong foundation if you are a novice trader, you're new to trading. I think the experience would be that once you have signed up for one, you would want to sign up for the other. And the reason why the DTP Plus is also created was because of demand for something else besides just doing one trade a day. And we could do different time zones as well. And you can learn at your own pace. Our recommended duration is 5 weeks, but I think you can also overlap once you become once 2-3 weeks into the DTP. If you have understood the fundamentals, you can get started with the DTP Plus if it suits your lifestyle. And ultimately, it's not just learning 2 different strategies on 2 different indices to get positive returns, but it's also learning how Alex has adapted the track record risk framework for day trading, and also learning, as Alex pointed out, there's a trade review process. He gives you a template to record your trades and how to analyze your own performance. And also you will learn how to tweak your other strategies to such a level where it adheres to risk management principles that are sound, that will eventually lead you to profits and also success. I guess that's it. We are going to call it a day. Thank you for attending. Thank you for
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Alex. Hopefully we'll see you in the live trading session soon. In your chat, you will see some links to the landing pages for you to sign up. Our staff is ready to help you with any questions. If you do experience some delay, it will be because there's quite a number of people asking them questions and signing up now. So be patient with us, but we'll get to you in good time. Thank you, Alex. I guess
yes, well, thank you, B, and thank you everyone for attending. And I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible, even next week in the live trading room with me.
Okay, take care. Goodbye and good luck.
Bye-bye.